We're going to be right back with more on the X, including pandemic pods gaining popularity in some parts of the country. We'll take a closer look at this new way to learn. Well, August means back to school, of course. Some kids are going to physical classrooms, but some parents are forming groups called pandemic pods.
Makes a lot of sense. Tutors and retired teachers are leading these small private classes across the country. CNN's Jarrett reports.
First thing I think you need to do is get out your homework.
With coronavirus resurging across the country and so much uncertainty about what school looks like this fall, many parents are now taking matters into their own hands.
Right now, people are in panic mode. You're going to check each other.
Marnie Weinstein, an education consultant in Washington, D.C., says parents are reaching out desperate for other options.
How many parents would you say have reached out to you?
My emails are overflowing. My text messages are overflowing.
She's helping parents form what they're calling learning pods, small groups of young children paired with a single teacher in a home.
It could be a basement, it could be a room upstairs, just as long as the teacher can set it up to feel like a classroom.
This pod in a suburb of Atlanta has 12 families and 28 kids, from kindergarten through 5th grade.
We've talked about consistency and routine. Whoever is hosting the group of kids, my kids are going to get their backpack, laptop, in their backpack, their water bottle and a snack, and they're going to take it to whatever house they're going to. We're hopefully going to stay pretty consistent with that.
I've envisioned a one-room schoolhouse. We wanted to create an environment where our kids could work together and be together and have that social part of school that's so important for their development.
And their kids like this option too.
I'd rather be in a pod with my friends than be at home just working on school by myself.
From San Francisco to Toledo, Ohio to Tampa, Florida, pandemic pods or micro school groups are popping up all over social media, each with their own set of rules.
We are going to say that we can go to the grocery store, but always wear masks and wash our hands.
But in-person instruction doesn't come cheap, with some parents guaranteeing a teacher their full salary or more, even if their child ends up back in a classroom at some point this year.
So a lot of the teachers, they'll tell me they're not sure they want to sign on. And a lot of them are coming back because they can get the same amount of money or more, working half day, staying safe.
A lucrative deal for teachers, but yet another way COVID has highlighted how a good education often depends on what your parents can afford. A more cost-effective option, families who plan to follow their school's virtual learning plan.
We're not homeschooling them. There's a difference.
They're forming their own pods and hiring a tutor to help with all the digital homework and check-ins.
Once they're done with the digital learning, then they take a break, and that's where the tutor will come and facilitate and make sure that they stay on track with that curriculum.
In many cases, the details are still being ironed out, but parents who have kids with a pre-existing condition or special needs say the pod model is the safest for their families as the pandemic continues.
I think it's a fantastic option because you can kind of tailor your educational needs to whatever your family needs.
When the kids look back, they're gonna remember a fun community time that they had during these few months, because it's not gonna be forever.
Jarrett, CNN, New York.
Yeah, this is something that you were talking about earlier. It's been panic mode for a lot of parents, you were saying.
Well, and the thing is, what she was saying, this won't last forever, but right now there's so much uncertainty and it feels like so many different scenarios could play out in the fall months, even if school's back in person for certain school districts. So this is a nice way to try to give them some sense of control.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Got to get creative, right? Hey, you know, Allison Montoya, she is live this morning. She's been covering the Cincinnati Public Schools technology handout this morning. While she was there, she got this reaction from a parent with 2 kids in the CPS system.
How has this whole situation been, you know, with the kids learning at home, not learning? I mean, it's pretty wild, but how are you guys doing?
It's going to be a crazy ride, but we'll get through it, and hopefully it's pan out and everything works out for the best.
And what do you think about the school making sure each kid has an iPad or a laptop?
This a great choice. I'm glad that they're doing it, and I just think this overall best choice for them to make this year.
What are your hopes that the kids go back full-time someday?
Yes, hopefully they go back full time someday, but this is a very good learning experience for us all.
I think she said it best. Yeah, she did. Because that's the true feeling of, what can you do? You just got to make the best of it. We do, obviously, most of us want to get those kids present and back in the classroom. Sure. I believe 30,000 devices is what CPS handed out in terms of technology, laptops, iPads, that kind of thing. Because there are a lot of kids who just don't have access to that. So obviously they need to serve that underserved part of the community.
Absolutely. Got to think about everybody. So that's, it's unprecedented times. Everyone is learning as they go. Try to give a little grace in times where places are still learning. It's crazy. It's a crazy time.
It's a true exercise in pick yourself up by the bootstraps and figure it out. We're part of a village. Yeah. And we'll get there. We'll get there in the end.
Yeah. This is temporary. Let's all try to remember that. It's hard to remember, but let's try. Hey, our Kids Classes in Coronavirus Facebook group is pinned at the top of the FOX19 Now Facebook page. You can join that group and ask any questions that you have, and we'll try to find answers for you there. You have to click join to be a part of that conversation. We'd love to hear what your thoughts are.